Alright guys, so today we're back. Today I'm going to be talking about my personal car that does not run yet. It's going to be more like a little bit of a build breakdown video. We're just going to go over what the car is for those people who don't know and what's in it and why I decided to do what I did to the car. So as you can see, there is a LS engine in here. This happens to be a mock-up block. Courtesy of my fabricator, Mr. John Forbes, who has done all of the fabrication work on this car. He is directly responsible for the continuation of this project, essentially, because without him, I probably would have given up on this a long time ago. So let's get into it. This is a 2009 Mazda RX-8. It was originally a 13B REW 6-speed manual car, and I bought this car back in 2016, I believe it was, and this car had 50,000 original miles on it. Super mint condition, super clean interior, exterior, ran well, everything. I believe it was owned by an older lady, and for whatever reason she decided to get rid of it. I bought this car up in Virginia. Trying to think where it was in Virginia. It was up near the naval base there. I can't think of the name of it right now off the top of my head. It was up near the naval base. And I drove this car for about a year and a half or 2 years when I first moved down here to North Carolina. I got into the car scene pretty quickly after purchasing this car, and I was constantly going out to car meets, going meeting new people, having fun, you know, the typical car meet experience. And I met a couple people who I got along with really well. Some of my best friends to this day. Nick Henry, Tyler Halleck, whose car is the Camaro that I did the last video on. And then another friend of mine, Vincent DiMatteo. And I quickly realized how slow this car actually was. Upon meeting them. Nick Kim at the time had a Type R swapped, super clean Integra that he bought from somewhere around here local. I mean, the thing was, it was absolutely mint. And yeah, it put a pretty good beating on this car whenever we were playing around down in Mexico. So, you know, I decided that, you know, it was time to do something a little bit different. And I started doing some research on this car. And I quickly realized that the 13B REW was probably the worst motor to do anything with at the time, especially for the price of doing anything to that car. There were no local shops around me that specialized in doing anything rotary, other than Angel Motorsports up in Virginia, but they had some prices that at the time I couldn't afford. So it wasn't really the best option for me. And after driving this car for a while, never gave me any issues or anything like that, I finally stumbled upon my first problem, and it was the 6-speed manual transmission in this car. I'm not exactly sure what happened to it. To this day, I don't know. I ended up selling it, but it would not let me go into any gear at all whatsoever. Like, there was nothing but neutral. And the only way to get the car to move was to essentially ride the clutch out. It was like, I think I finally got it into like 3rd or 4th gear, trying to get this car back home. And I ended up just toasting the clutch, trying to drive a rotary that makes no torque. And 4th gear is, as you can imagine, just an absolutely horrible idea. So I finally got the car home, kind of sat down and realized that, you know, it was time to take action on the plans that I had come up with. And lo and behold, we stumbled across the old LS swap. Started doing my research, reading forums, posts, typical things like that. And got in contact with some local shops, saved up some money, and we started on the project. This was probably like beginning or middle of 2017, I want to say, because I got this car like the beginning of 2016. And yeah, we started accumulating parts, saving up money, contacting local shops, And I'm not gonna go into all the details, but let's just say that I did end up losing some money on this car with a local shop. That'll be a story for another day, for everybody who's interested on it. But yeah, then this car sat for a while. Didn't really have the finances, didn't really have the means or the want to do anything with it at that point. And I started venturing on to different things, four-wheelers, other cars. I had a few Civics, stuff like that. And I'm gonna say, what year was it that I came back to this? Maybe like 2019, 2020. I really got started back on this project, thanks to Mr. John, or Mr. Forbes. If any of you guys are in the local area in North Carolina, near like Atlantic Beach, Moorhead, Jacksonville, Wilmington, and you need any kind of fabrication work done, get in touch with Forbes Fab LLC on Instagram. He is an absolutely amazing person. He is a fantastic welder. He's become family to me. He's almost like an uncle. He's very, very intelligent, and he's a very kind-hearted person. And he will really go out of his way to try and help you the best he can without, putting himself in a bad position, obviously. But like I stated earlier in the video, he is the main reason that this project still exists. I had promised my father before he passed away I would make sure that this car got done, and trying to stick to my word here. So we'll get some closer looks at some of the fabrication work done, and then I'll start explaining a little bit more about the car, but I'll let you guys get a closer look. All right, guys, I'd just like to say I apologize for any shaky footage. I am holding the camera, and it is no longer on my little tripod gimbal setup, so bear with me here. So, like I said, this is a mock-up block that John lended me for the time being while he was doing the fabrication work. I do need to return this to him, but obviously nobody wants to lift a full-size motor in and out of a car, in and out of a car constantly while they're working on it. So, originally with this car, I started off as wanting to have a little streetable deli driver style car, and over time, obviously that changed. So there may be some revisions to the car yet still. However, I did purchase the LS1 Rx8 swap kit from a gentleman by the name of Steven Villavasso. And he allows you to use the factory subframe in the car. And he came up with a way to modify it in order for the LS to fit in there. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. Let me grab a light. But that is the factory Rx8 subframe, and it uses a adapter plate with a C6 Corvette mount. And then he made a set of billet steering rack spacers, which you do have to modify quite a bit of the factory front subframe for everything to work properly. There's a lot of welding, cutting, moving around of things that needs to be done. A little more than, obviously I can explain, because I did have somebody do the fabrication for me. John would probably be a lot better person to talk to. But that is the basic engine setup. And then I really wanted to stay manual at the time, so I decided to have RPM Transmissions build me a T56 Magnum XL. It is their top of the line model. It is still synchro transmission, H pattern. I did not go with a face-plated dog engagement style transmission, just because, like I said, I did want to have this car pretty streetable in the beginning. We're using a QuickTime SFI bell housing. Sorry, I can't show you guys all this stuff. I have a Monster triple disc clutch setup in here. The car doesn't have a drive shaft or axles right now. We do have a Ford Explorer 8.8, which I'll put some pictures in the video when I can. But that's another thing that John did. He modified the stock rear subframe in this car to accept a Ford Explorer 8.8 differential. And then I plan to have Drive Shaft Shop make me some custom axles that can handle the power that I'm planning to run through this car. Now, there's not really too much more to talk about with this car. Some BC coilovers, stocks, the rest of the suspension is stock. The interior is stock. I haven't gotten around to doing a lot of things on it. But there is quite a bit left to do still. We need to get the Holley system for the car. We need to do the fuel system. I'm going to run a fuel cell in the back of the car. So that would be the fuel component of the car. And then, like I said, drive shaft and axles, and that's really it. Yeah, a lot has gone into this car. I spent a lot of money on this car. Like I said, I made promises to finish this car. So you guys will see more of this on the channel, hopefully in the future, once I have the time and ability to spend more money on it. Now, this is not my only car. I do have a 2008 Pontiac G8 that makes roughly 500 horsepower, a little below that. I'll say like 450. And I have a regular cab pickup truck, Chevy Silverado 1500, that has a 4.8 in it, cam, turbo kit, really simple setup. It is on Holley already. It makes roughly 500 horsepower on a good day. But I did recently hurt the motor in that car. So you can see I have some extra motors over there. And one of them will be gone in the truck. I believe I cracked a ringland. It's smoking kind of bad. If I didn't crack a ringland or crack a piston or something like that, then I'm really not too sure what happened to it. We won't know till we take it apart. But cylinder 5 does have low compression. So, yeah, I told you guys I would talk about this car a little bit more. I'll give you guys a little bit of a view of it. This is going to be my drag car. I wanted to do something a little different than you see most people doing. I would like to race this car at different events. One of the things I didn't talk about, there is a VS Racing Gen 2 75, 78 turbo in the trunk of this car that will be getting done when Mr. Forbes can do the fabrication for the turbo kit on this car, which will be the next iteration of things that needs to get done. I do have weld wheels for the car as well, but they're not on it. I don't really see a point in rolling it around on those. Don't want to damage them. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please come back, subscribe, like, comment if this is something that you would like to see more of. The next video I'll probably do will either be on my G8 or on my truck. So if you guys are interested in that, stay posted. I'll be doing a video on that shortly. I did get the Camaro torn down. Sorry, my garage is kind of a mess. I have a lot of stuff and not a lot of room to put it in. But yep, this thing's completely ready to go to Mr. Barefoot. This thing is ready to go to Mr. Forbes whenever I get some money saved up. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll keep up with you guys and stay tuned for more. Peace.